Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Weekend Tech. In this week's episode, I wanted to take a look at Virtualenv, which is a standalone package and also available as a plugin for pyenv. And this allows you to set up virtual environments for your Python projects. So I've been experimenting with Python for a couple of weeks now, and I've used it before. I've used Python for a Flask web API I created last year, but never really got into the nitty-gritties of it. So today, let's see how and why you should probably use virtual environment, and let's also understand the reason for its use. So an example would be, let's say you have two projects. One, let's say, is an old one. The other one is one that you're starting off, and what happens is, if you upgrade your packages from in the old project to the new versions, what will happen is this will reflect and bleed into the other project. That's not what we really want. We should probably set up our environment in a way that each project is kind of isolated, and that should also reflect in our source control, so that other people who are using and developing with you, they should be informed about what version of Python that you should be using. So let's use Virtualenv, and this is a plugin with pyenv. So if you're using CLI config, and there's a video on it in this playlist, the first one, which helps you set up your terminal with a single command. You can check that out it's on my channel. So if you're using CLI config, this is already set up for you. It's available in the latest version. So if you have it already installed, you can upgrade to the latest version, or install it with the help of that video. It's just one command. So let's check how we can create virtual environments. So first, let's create a folder, and let's cd into that directory. Whoops. And let's create a folder. Let's say this is hello world API. To code dot. So I've opened that folder in my VS Code. Now let's see here. So currently, if I do a Python --2 version, this is Python 2.7, which is the one of them that comes by default with pyenv. So now let's assume we are going to, since we're starting fresh with this project, let's use the latest version. So as of now, if you look at python.com, python.org, the latest version is 3.8.5. so I have that installed, which is 3.8.5. If you don't, you can install it with pyenv install 3.8.5. that will install the version for you. So now what we can do is, what we want is, whenever I come to this folder, I should be able to use Python 3.8.5. and to do that, what you can do is, you can add a file called Python version, and it's a hidden file. And what you can do is write the version of Python that you want. So here I'm writing 3.8.5. Now if I do which Python, this will still point to the same shim, but if I do Python version, you see it's picking up the version that is specified in the Python version file. So now what we can do is set up a virtual environment for our project. So let's do pyenv virtualenv, the version of Python that we want, 3.8.5, and the name of that virtual environment. So this would be hw-api env. You can name it whatever you want, but I'm just going to suffix it with -env. So what this will do is create a virtual environment for us, and we'll wait for that to finish. So now so currently we're still using the default Python 3.8.5. we're not inside the virtual env that we just created. To activate that virtual env, what we can do is, you can do pyenv activate hw-api env, and this will, in this shell, it also shows in the prompt. about which virtual environment we're using. So, but also what you can do is, so now if I exit this and open the terminal again, you can see whenever I come to this folder, it picks up Python version from that Python version file, but it doesn't activate that virtual environment. And to fix that, what you can do is, you can, rather than saying the version of Python that you want, you can write the name of the virtual environment itself, so which was HW API env for us. So once you do that, now if I close the terminal, open and go to the directory, it auto activates that virtualenv. If I go to some other directory, let's say the home directory, that gets deactivated. And if I go back, it activates again. So you're going to be sure that whenever you write a command in this directory, it's going to be in the virtual environment, and you don't have to activate it manually every time. And since this is just one file, you can add this to your source control, and everybody on the team agrees with the version that you want, which is 3.8.5. You write that in your README, and they can set up virtualenv in a similar fashion on their machine. So yeah, that was a quick video on how to do virtual environments with pyenv, pyenv's plugin for virtual environment. And if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and see you again next week. Thank you.